Hello, my name is Alexander Morari, and I'm the founder of ITKeyMedia. You've tuned in to ITKeyMedia's podcast about Central and Eastern European startups that are in pre-seed or pre-series A stage. Our guest today is Karl Vään, the founder of a company called BitOfProperty, based in Estonia, which developed an alternative real estate investment platform for passive income, which is basically a real estate investment marketplace where people can buy or sell shares in properties or special purpose vehicle companies and earn monthly rental incomes. Hello, Karl.
Hi everybody. Thank you for having me at ITKeyMedia.
Yes, let's move on. Round one, company and the team, okay? So tell us about the company history in brief.
So we started BitOfProperty in mid-2017, actually in Singapore. So this is where we established our mother company, and we got our pre-seed investor, Space Ventures. And at that time, we started building out the product and understanding, our customers a little bit better. Quite soon after establishing an entity there and building out the product, we understood that actually it's faster for us to go to market in Estonia. So hence we moved from Singapore back to Estonia, where I'm originated from as well. And then we've been ever since here, went to the market here, have built our platform and customer base from Estonia. And yeah, so that's like very briefly about us. In addition to actually Space Ventures, we also have Lifeful, Japanese, one of the biggest real estate portals in Japan, as a shareholder as well. So we have the company investors are from in different parts of the world, mainly from Asia, but the main customer base is still in Europe. And we are a team of 4 people at the moment. So I'm the CEO and co-founder. We have a CTO, Majid, from Iran, and a part-time full-stack developer, Rudolf, from South Africa, and also a UI/UX designer from Brazil, who is also living in Estonia.
Karl, that's interesting. So your team is maybe not numerous, but you cover almost all continents there. It's also interesting. How are you connected with the real estate? Do you have background in real estate or development in Estonia or elsewhere?
Yeah, so actually my background is purely financial. So before BitOfProperty, I was working in a Swiss-based global commodity trading house called Conver Group. And but I've always been into investing, and they made my first stock purchase when I was 14. And I've been trading ever since then, or investing ever since then in different asset classes. But real estate has just been the one which is unreachable for me, and mainly because of the capital restrictions, as it is a relatively expensive asset class. And this is where the real estate kicks in, and this is essentially where the idea formed. For me, yeah, I don't have a real estate background, but we do cover the real estate aspect with our advisors and shareholders in the company.
Crunchbase description of you guys mentioned some relations to real estate and specifically civil engineering or real estate development. And Tavi, your co-founder, is also mentioned there as a leading specialist in LEED certification, I understand.
Yeah, so both of them actually have not only university level, but both of them have been in real estate space for I would even say 12 plus years. And in addition to them, we have Jussi Varis, who is our Finnish angel investor and real estate investor, has been a real estate investor ever since, from the very beginning. So I would say even 20 plus years. So covering the investment aspects, and the other angel investor, Kristo Perna, has also been into the real estate management part of it for commercial real estate in the Baltics. So and also not to mention, well, Lifeful, who is like a public real estate company covering all different aspects. So yeah, we are accumulating all of this knowledge in the team from the various people and then people involved, and then trying to bring it into the one place and help with that essentially. Yeah.
This is interesting. Let's move on to round two. The product solution, sales and distribution, as we call that. In a nutshell, can you explain the business model itself?
So our business model as such is still, as we are building a marketplace and for people to buy and sell the pieces of properties, then we are essentially charging the commission on the trades and also the management fee, which comes from the rental income.
What are the steps that your potential client or investor goes through? Technically or legally? So if I want to buy shares in a company, I do not buy that as a token, I understand. I buy that as an actual, like, conservative, like, shares in a special purpose vehicle, right? Mm-hmm. That is an owner of a real estate, I understand.
Yes, correct.
Yes. So the SPV itself is registered in your name as your SPV, right? And correct. Then you sell fractionally, you sell shares of the company. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And did you buy the real estate itself so that you are the owners, or do you share the proceeds, or do you make a JV, let's say, with the real estate developer or owner of a standing asset? What's the approach there?
So you are 100% correct on the structure side. So we are using SPV structure. For all the listeners who don't know what the SPV is, it's a private limited company. We have established them up until now in Estonia, as all the properties on the platform are from Estonia, so it makes sense at the moment. So we are establishing an SPV, which is a private limited company. This is established by BitOfProperty. And so hence it looks like we are owning the SPV, and the investors are coming in with investment agreement, which legally speaking is actually a loan agreement. So they are giving loan to the to the SPV, and then SPV acquires the asset. Yeah. And in order to protect the investors, we have introduced another security layer, which we call it's a security agent. So security agent is a third-party law firm who is holding the first-rank mortgage of all the investors who are coming in. So let's say we do anything bad or behave in a not professional manner or do something that affects our platform investors, then the security agent has the right to step in and sell the asset and give money back to the investors. So yeah, this is kind of like the structure that we're using, and the properties on the platform are completely purchased or financed, by our platform investors. So we have gathered during the crowdfunding phase, we've gathered the funds from them, and once the money is 100% there, then we make the asset purchase. And once this is done, all of the investors start earning rental income.
Okay, so there is a target price for an asset, I understand, that you announce, and this target price has to meet the expectations of the developer, right, itself. And when you collect the enough funds, then you go and purchase at a pre-set price level, I understand, right?
Sure, yeah, correct.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as far as the portfolio right now, so why do I have a feeling that you have too few assets in your portfolio right now? And correct
Mm-hmm.
me if I'm wrong. And why is this so? Just 3 or 4, let's say, projects that you have on your website?
After the investment, when Lifeful invested in BitOfProperty, it was in April 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So after that, we actually went through major platform change. So we and also not only platform change, but also the restructuring of the team as well. So this was the time when we came out from the MVP stage and then built out more stronger and reliable platform, as we are dealing with the financial product. So it has to be very resilient and trustworthy, right? So this was the time when we actually took the time off. This was even about, I would say, 12 or something months, where we actually focused on just building out a good tech. So this was the time when we kind of like had the gap, right? And after that, we understood that the crowdfunding model that we used before, it was to some extent a bit challenging for us as well, because as a starting company, I mean, the investor base is not that big, right? And but investors who are coming to the platform, when you make your investment, you would like to start earning right away, right? Otherwise, you have alternative cost. So and this is when we came out with the marketplace. So we thought that, okay, how can we actually open it up for the investors as well? Then we built out the marketplace, and then all of the assets that we have on the platform immediately opened up for new investors to come in as well. So this helped us actually to, get to the activity and engagement level on the platform, which you can actually do with the existing assets. So when you compare our model with other real estate crowdfunding platforms, so we are building assets under management essentially, but the other platforms which are mainly loan based, they're giving loan to the developer or make a real estate backed business loans, right? So for them, it's how fast can you fund the projects through the platform. In our case, it's actually more like building on the AUM, so our assets under management, right? So this at the moment actually helps us to kind of like use even the 4 properties that we have on the platform and squeeze out as much as we can from it, right? By not even adding any new assets there. However, you are correct. We are introducing new. We are looking to introduce new assets on the platform very soon, because this is what our investors have been asking us as well. Like, hey, when are the new assets coming? And we would like to invest some more. So we are working on that. And but yeah, so I really hope that we come out with some good, some new properties very, very soon.
While we are on the portfolio, do you personally, I mean, do you, the founding team, prefer commercial or residential right now? And I have, of course, in mind all the COVID-related stress on offices and retail properties.
Yeah, so we've been favoring more residential assets, and this was, I mean, even before COVID, right?
And sorry, and this is purely rental, private rental sector, right?
Correct. Yes. So we haven't at the moment looked, even previously, we haven't looked commercial, and especially looking at the current situation. So we are probably going to stay away from the commercial for the foreseeable future if we don't see, I mean, if we actually cannot like find, I mean, it really depends on a case, but most likely we're going to, keep away from the commercial side for now. But the residential, yeah, it has been in our focus ever since we started.
What you're doing is very, very similar to the idea of real estate investment trusts, REITs.
When it comes to the difference between what we do and REITs, then there are actually numerous things. And firstly, is that investors on our platform can put their portfolio together themselves, right? So they're not, we provide an assets where they can invest into, and it's really up to them in which assets they would like to have more exposure and for which assets they would like to have less exposure. So that's number one. So kind of like you are in control. Second is the properties on our platform, they are not, we give like as direct exposure as possible to them. But REITs are actually, you can buy REITs also in the stock market, right? So which means that they are more prone to the systemic risk as well. So let's say something happens on the stock market, or some big company starts selling the stock in large quantities. So it's not really, and then you're affected by this as well, and your returns are affected actually by this. That's number two. And number three, simplicity.
Actually, what you're trying to do, I understand, is the democratization of real estate investment, right? Where individual investors are directly involved in real estate investment. Karl, okay, thanks a lot. Let's move on to round 3. And round 3 will cover competitors and your competitive landscape.
So we divide our competitors into two groups, direct and indirect. So the direct ones, as if you're looking at our product, which is a passive income real estate backed investment. So if you take the mainland Europe, then you find only very few platforms who are doing the similar thing. One of them in Estonia, which is doing kind of like a hybrid. It's called Reinvest24. They are essentially, they started off as a rental platform as well, or like investing in buy-to-let products, but they're doing now development loans as well. So, and after that, you actually don't have any, like, we don't see any other like a competitor when it comes to Europe. When you go to UK, this model is very prevalent there, and it's very common, right? So one of the biggest here is, for example, a property partner. So UK is the market where we have actually more competitors, I would say, direct competitors. But when it comes to indirect, then actually other real estate crowdfunding platforms which are doing the debt-based products, for example, giving loans to the developers, right, or real estate-backed business loans. One of the biggest is obvious, and also in the Baltics region, is Estate Guru and Crowd Estate. And in southern or Western Europe, we have Hausers, right? And in Austria, there is Rendity. So there are actually quite numerous, like many platforms out there. So, but they are indirect, meaning that they're not actually currently, pushing or like coming to our space at the moment. And today we are complementing each other actually. Because they are funding the first phase of the real estate, which is like the development phase. And we are coming in the second phase, which is kind of like, investing in the real existing product already, right? So in that sense, these indirect competitors today are actually our, friends, not enemies in a way. This is how I see it.
Yes, indeed, crowdfunding ecosystems and landscape in startup world is very popular and becoming more and more popular, and PropTech as such has been getting momentum in the last several years. Basically, it's one of the latecomers basically into the technology world. Probably construction is a little bit behind, but it quickly catches up basically. So interesting. Let's move on to round 4, companies' ups and downs. What is the biggest success you've had by now?
I think the biggest success what we've had, I think, was actually coming out with the marketplace, because it was a very fast, quick development. We did it in 1 week, and we did it in a very kind of like a startup way, in a lean startup way, if I may call it. So it was built out actually on Typeform, the questionnaire software, and we integrated it to our system and started accepting both buy and sell orders. And then we thought that, okay, I mean, it's not going to work. I mean, people are not going to, fill those out because there's not much information and it's a financial product and there is no trust. I mean, it's just filling out the form. But actually opposite happened, and people started filling out forms a lot. So this increased our manual work as I took in the buy and sell orders, and I had to match those manually. So this was quite heavy, but I was really, really happy that we did it. It got us off the ground and brought in the activity and engagement on the platform, what we really, really needed. And this kind of like proved the point that, I mean, in 1 week, we can actually build out something which is useful for people and, people like to use, and then there is value for it. This was, I was really, really happy about it. And yeah, I think this was the one of the biggest success.
So we actually pivoted into a marketplace, right?
Yes.
In a week time.
Yeah.
So doable when you do not analyze it too much, when you have to do this, right?
Yeah.
What about the biggest failure in the last year, let's say?
I would even say that there hasn't been like an event as such when it comes to the biggest failure, but it's more kind of like what we haven't grasped that well, or we haven't been able to solve for our customers is the supply side. So being able to bring more investment products for them. And I wouldn't call it as a one-time event. It's more like an overall kind of like an approach to it. So we are in a difficult space, actually, the real estate, and being able to fix the supply at a decent pace requires a lot of capital. So I would say that, yeah, this has been the biggest challenge or for us to actually to bring the customers this kind of like new opportunities.
Would you say the marketplace that you're trying to create would be better fit for distressed real estate, like in real trouble, or for A-class real estate, like top premium in a location?
I wouldn't say that the marketplace is better for either distressed or A-class products, but I think it's a combination of both, and both are good, and both you should have both in your portfolio. The question is at which proportion.
Yeah, interesting. Karl, let's move to round 5. We call this Formula F3, funding for the future, okay? Just a quick recap. I understand by now you've been invested in the pre-seed and seed stage by relatively renowned and known, I would say, investors from Asia, Space Ventures and Liful, which is an industry investor. That was a very good move, I think. Can you disclose the amount of investment by now, more or less the range of dilution that you've taken, and what are plans for the next financing round or investment round?
Yeah, so at the moment, roughly speaking, we've gathered investment a little less than 500,000 euros. And at this stage in the company, the founders are still owning the majority of the company, so which is good. So, and at the moment, we are actually looking for kind of like a bridge investment, I would call it. It's not seed, it's not Series A. We are looking for 250,000 euros at the moment. And with this, we are currently embarking on a new kind of like market. We are actually looking UK with one partner company there. And this is essentially to finalize the expansion to the UK market. Also becoming fully compliant in EU, as the upcoming European crowdfunding regulation is about to set in place in 1 or max 2 years time. I really hope. Yeah, so this is essentially the 2 key targets, what we want to do from the business point of view. And obviously, as our investors are actually really screaming that when are the new properties coming to the platform, so we haven't forgotten about this as well. And we are working really hard to get the pipeline of the properties up on the platform.
Yes. So while you are in getting ready for this bridge investment, I think it's a good moment now to probably cover some metrics, some key metrics. Can you share how much revenue you've had by now? Because is it fair to say that MRR are difficult to calculate in such a business model? Would you say?
Yes, MRR is it's not what we measure. So we are just looking at the like
overall, right?
Revenue. Yeah.
Cool.
So until now it has been just quickly calculating in my head, because we're doing the finances in Singapore, but the revenue roughly is 35,000 euros, something like that, roughly speaking. Customer growth past year 170%. Verified accounts on the platform about 600. Verified investors, right?
Which are mostly or exclusively individuals?
mostly individuals.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Few companies as well, yeah.
Yes, and they are qualified investors by the Estonian regulatory rules, or like is it more European, like EU kind of framework?
Yeah, Estonian regulatory rules. However, we are currently also like we are applying and in the final stages of getting the Finance Estonia's crowdfunding good practice certificate, which is built on the upcoming European crowdfunding regulation. So in that sense, yeah, I would say that we are working on to make sure that we are also like compliant on EU level, but at the moment, yes, this is as per the Estonian regulation.
As far as cash flow, are you burning right now? Would you say you are covering or close to break even? And what's your current burn rate monthly, more or less?
Yeah, so I can say that we are currently burning still. So we are still putting a lot of effort into the platform development on the marketing side. So all of this is still at the moment like very heavily ongoing, right? So and we are looking to break even at the moment in the I think the 1.5 years at the moment from now, according to the projections. So yeah, still a way to go, but we are getting closer and closer each time.
And if there was one or two factors that you think would be a real breakthrough for the company, what this could be?
So I would say that having or finding a strategic partner next to us who can help us actually to open up the new markets and help us to fix the supply of the real estate, which we can list on the platform for so that investors could invest in different properties and in different countries, like a multinational real estate development company or a real estate asset management company.
Okay. By the way, when do you plan to be ready to get ready for the Series A round?
I think after this round is closed, so then approximately year or maximum year and a half, then we are embarking on a new round of investment.
Yes, Karl, thanks a lot. Great talking to you. Let's keep in touch and wish all the best. We'll be in touch later on, I hope. All the best. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Bye-bye.
Karl, thanks a lot. All the best. Our guest today was Karl Vään, the founder of a company called BitOfProperty, based in Estonia, which made a successful pivot into real estate investment marketplace, where you can buy, sell shares in properties and earn monthly rental income. The company is currently in a bridge investment round looking for 250k euros, and this amount should help them to expand their business into the UK market. All the best. Good luck, Karl. Thanks for watching. Hope you like that and join us next time. Bye-bye.